Hello! This time we will look at a classic poem, The Charge of the Light Brigade. In this video, we will first look at the meaning of important words, followed by poem recitation, and then we will look at some background information related to this poem, and then we will analyze each stanza, and then we will look at the summary of the whole poem, and last but not least, we will look at the lessons that we can learn. This poem has plenty of important words that you need to know. We have league, brigade, valley, charge, dismayed, blundered, volleyed, thundered, storm at, shot, shell, and boldly. First, we will look at the word league. This word does not have any synonym. But what is league? League is an old measurement for distance. Well, it's about 3 miles, or in kilometer is about 1.5 kilometer. Brigade is a subdivision of an army. For your information, army is very big and it usually has many subdivisions, many smaller troops, and brigade is one of them. Valley is a low area of land surrounded by hills or mountains. Right? It is also known as gorge or dale. In BM, we call it lembah, iaitu suatu kawasan tanah rendah di kaki bukit atau gunung. The word charge here is not the same as charging your phone. It's different, yeah? Charge here means attack, assault, or advance. In this poem, charge can be found as a noun and also as a verb. Alright? The title of this poem is a noun, The Charge of the Light Brigade. It can mean the attack by the Light Brigade or the advance of the Light Brigade. Serangan atau pergerakan serangan oleh Light Brigade. So, charge in BM means serangan, kata nama, or also menyerang, kata kerja. Dismayed is a negative emotion. It means distressed by something unexpected or feeling distraught or appalled. Right? In BM, it's rasa terkejut kerana sesuatu berlaku di luar jangkaan. Look at that man's face. He must be shocked at something he didn't expect. The verb blundered means made mistake, or erred, or messed up. In BM, it means telah melakukan kesilapan kerana cuai. Volleyed means attack in quick succession. Right? Succession means it happens one after another. Quickly happen between one after another. Right? It also means hit or struck. In BM, it means diserang bertalu-talu. Imagine people playing volleyball. Why is it called volleyball? Because they exchange. They keep on hitting the ball from one side to the other in succession, in quick succession. Do you know the word thunder? Guru? How does it sound? Loud, right? So thundered means very loud sound like thunder. Boom, rumbled. Imagine the sound of bombs, explosions. Yes, that is thundered. The verb storm means to move forcefully in one direction. In this poem, the phrase is storm at. This is actually a passive phrase. So, storm at means being attacked by someone or something. So, being hit by, being struck by someone or something. So, in BM, it means diserang oleh, bukannya menyerang. The word shot in this poem refers to gunshot. It's either bullet or cannonballs. Doesn't matter. So it's about tembakan peluru in BM. Shell in this poem does not mean kulit kerang. Shell in this poem refers to bombs and explosives. So in BM it means serangan letupan. The word boldly is an adverb. Adverb is used to describe action. Boldly comes from the word bold, which is brave or courageous. So boldly is to describe an action, to show that the action is brave and courageous. So in BM, it means dengan sifat berani, dengan beraninya. Now, I will recite the poem. Are you ready? You can quietly follow after me. The charge of the Light Brigade. Half a league, half a league, half a league onward, all in the valley of death, rode the 600. Forward, the Light Brigade! Charge for the guns, he said. Into the valley of death, rode the 600. Forward, the Light Brigade! Was there a man dismayed? Not though the soldier knew someone had blundered. Theirs not to make reply, theirs not to reason why, theirs but to do and die. Into the valley of death rode the 600. Cannon to right of them, cannon to left of them, cannon in front of them, volleyed and thundered, stormed at with shot and shell, boldly they rode and well, into the jaws of death, into the mouth of hell, rode the 600. Before we analyze the stanzas, we need to know who is the Light Brigade. Light Brigade, or rather Brigade, is a cavalry. Cavalry are soldiers who fought on horseback. In modern day, in today's situation, cavalry refers to soldiers who fight on transportations, right? On tanks and trucks. So there are different kinds of cavalry back in the days. We have light cavalry, medium cavalry, and heavy cavalry. So light brigade is a light cavalry. What is the difference? Let's look at this table. Right. Light cavalry are lightly armed and lightly armored, meaning they don't carry heavy weapons. They probably just bring sword or saber, and their armor is not heavy, meaning they are ready for sword fights, but they are not suitable for gunshots and explosives. And since they are lightly armed and they are lightly armored, their specialty is speed. They can move fast with the troop. because they don't wear any heavy armor, they don't bring any heavy weapons. So the best missions for them is scouting, raiding, patrolling, and even to ambush. Heavy cavalry, alright, heavy cavalry on the other hand are heavily armed and heavily armored. They wear heavy armor, they bring even heavier weapons. Their specialty is power because they are usually used for direct assault. Now let's look at the pictures, right? So that you can see the difference. This is what a light cavalry look like. Look at their armor. It's as if there is no armor, there is only shirt. On the other hand, the other one, look at how they are armored, right, with steel. So the one on the left, if they are being attacked by gunshots, explosives, it's fatal for them. Alright? So you must remember this fact because this is very important later. Let's start with stanza 1. Half a league. Half a league shows how far the soldiers to the battlefield. Remember the meaning of league? League refers to 3 miles. So half a league is about what, 1.5 miles? Well, it doesn't matter actually. No, seriously, how many miles or how many kilometers is not important. What is important here is that half a league refers to the distance, how far the soldiers was to the battlefield. Right? One mistake you should not make is half a league, half a league, half a league onward. These are repeated 3 times. Do not ever add half a league with half a league with half a league. No, it's not 1.5 league. It's only half a league. The repetition is to show that it is important. Another reason is it's to show the imagery of the soldiers moving onward towards the valley, towards the battlefield. Valley of Death refers to the battlefield where the soldiers were marching into. Why is it called Valley of Death? It is actually a metaphor to suggest to us, to tell us that there will be many deaths there, that many soldiers died there or would die there. Road the 600. The word road comes from the word ride. In BM, it means menunggang. So the word road shows that the Light Brigade was on horseback. As I said earlier, they were cavalry. 600 tells us the number of soldiers in the Light Brigade. Forward the Light Brigade, charge for the guns, he said. Who is he? He is an army commander or the leader of the Light Brigade. Forward the Light Brigade, charge for the guns. These are the orders given to the soldiers, which are number 1, to move forward into the battlefield, and number 2, to attack and seize the enemy's weapons, right? Untuk menyerang dan merampas senjata musuh. Here is what we can summarize from stanza 1. The Light Brigade is a troop on horseback. They have 600 soldiers. They were moving towards a valley, which will be their battlefield. And they receive order to seize the enemy's weapons. In stanza 2, we can see that the same instruction, the same order is given again. Forward the Light Brigade. This is to give us the image that the soldiers are still moving towards the valley. And then followed by a rhetorical question. Was there a man dismayed? Right? So, was there any of the 600 soldiers shocked, dismayed by the order to move to seize the enemy's weapon in the valley? The answer is there, not. Right? Was there a man dismayed? Not. So the answer is no. There was no soldier who were dismayed. They were all ready. Was there a man dismayed? Not though the soldier knew someone had blundered. So why would the soldier feel dismayed? Because they knew that someone made a mistake. So who is this someone? This someone is the same army commander or leader from stanza 1 earlier. So what is this blunder that the commander has made? First, we need to remember that the Light Brigade is a light cavalry, meaning they are lightly armored, they are lightly armed. They do not have heavy weapons. Light cavalry usually are used for patrolling and ambush. However, the mission that the commander gave them is to charge for the guns, which is a direct assault. A direct assault for light cavalry is actually a suicide mission because they do not have suitable weapons and armor for such mission. Theirs not to make reply, theirs not to reason why, theirs but to do and die. The word theirs here refers to the soldier's duty. There are 3 duties of these soldiers in stanza 2. The first one is not to make reply, which is to follow and carry out order. Next, not to reason why. So they should not question the order given to them. And the last one is but to do and die, meaning their duty is to sacrifice themselves, to die for the country. At the end of stanza 2, the 2 phrases, into the valley of death rode the 600, were repeated to show that their death was approaching. What can we summarize from stanza 2? In stanza 2, we learn that the commander made a big mistake by ordering the Light Brigade to make a direct assault towards the enemy. I have explained why earlier. Even knowing their commander's blunder, the soldiers were not dismayed. It is because of their strong sense of duty. It is because the soldiers were responsible. In stanza 3, the Light Brigade finally arrived at the valley. Remember what is a valley? Valleys are low lands area surrounded by mountains or hills. Right? So the Light Brigade finally arrived at the valley. But when they arrived at the valley, what greeted them were cannons. Cannon to right of them, cannon to left of them, cannon in front of them. So meaning to say, when the Light Brigade arrived at the valley, they were surrounded by enemy's weapons. Remember, Light Brigade only brought swords or most probably just pistols with them. But the enemies had guns, they had cannons, and they surrounded the Light Brigade. So now we can see why this valley is called Valley of Death. After they arrived at the battlefield, the battle began. Volleyed and thundered. This line is to create an imagery of chaos on the battlefield. Alright, can you imagine bullets, flying around with very loud sound? And the Light Brigade was stormed at with shot and shell. Right? So this line, storm at with shot and shell, is to show that the Light Brigade was under heavy attack. Let's look at an example of war scene taken from the movie War Horse. So, did you get the idea of volleyed and thundered? The chaotic situation at a battlefield and how soldiers were stormed at with shot and shell? Despite being surrounded by cannons and enemies, and they were greatly outnumbered, the soldiers, the Light Brigade, boldly rode towards the battlefield. Boldly they rode and well into the jaws of death, into the mouth of hell. Jaws of death and mouth of hell refers to Valley of Death mentioned earlier in stanza 1 and stanza 2. The repetition of these lines is to show us that what awaits the soldiers is death, that the soldiers will die. Here is what we can summarize from stanza 3. The Light Brigade was surrounded by the enemies with cannons. They were at a great disadvantage because they were outnumbered and poorly armed. Even though death was certain for them, the Light Brigade bravely rode into the battlefield. They did not retreat. We have finished analyzing the individual stanzas. Now let's look at the overall summary of this poem. This poem is about bravery and patriotism. It highlights the bravery of the Light Brigade to carry out a suicide mission. It also highlights that one person's mistake can cause major loss to other people. Next, I will show you another scene from War Horse, which perfectly describes, perfectly depicts the mistake made by a commander. Let's go.
Good luck, my friends.
So, did you notice what happened in the video earlier? The mission was supposed to be an ambush, and it was almost successful. However, the enemies surprised the soldiers with machine guns, and we could see how the commander towards the end, showed a dismayed expression. He was shocked that the enemies were prepared with heavy machinery. right, with heavy weapons. So now let's go back to the summary. So this poem describes the commander's blunders. What are they? Number one is to give order for direct assault to the Light Brigade, when Light Brigade is actually more suitable for ambush and patrolling. Second is to give order to attack without enough information about the enemy's strength, just like the one in the video, right? They were supposed to ambush the enemy, but they did not do enough research, right? They did not have enough information, and finally they were surprised by by a counter attack. And last but not least is this poem also describes how the soldiers were brave and dutiful to their country. We are finally at the last part of this video. What are the lessons that we can learn from this poem? We should love our country. There is no denying it. We should love our country. We should be patriotic. We must do our best to carry out our responsibilities. So if we have any responsibilities given to us, we should not ignore it. We should not abandon it. We have to do our very best to carry it out. Next is we should not be hasty in making decisions. Hasty is terburu-buru. We have to be well prepared when making decisions. We have to take into account about safety of other people as well. And the last one is we should speak up if we do not like something we are told to do. The soldiers, the Light Brigade, they could not speak up because it is their duty to carry out every order given to them, even though it is a suicide mission. However, we as individuals, we are not soldiers. If we do not like something, we should speak up for ourselves. That is all for this video. I hope my explanation did help you to understand this poem better. Inshallah, God's willing, if I have more time, if I have the opportunity, I will come out with another video for the other two poems and also for the novel Dear Mr. Kilmer. See you. Bye.